Welcome to virtual trauma when intimacy arrives. This episode discusses intimacy, vulnerability, and power dynamics in immersive environments. There are no graphic descriptions. If this topic is difficult, pause and take care of yourself. In the last episode, we talked about consent. What happens when presence becomes immersive and consent can no longer be treated as a switch. Today, we move one step further. Because once proximity feels real and consent becomes continuous, the next thing that enters the system is intimacy. Not intimacy as sex, not intimacy as romance, but intimacy as access. Access to attention, access to emotion, access to vulnerability. And most immersive systems were never designed to govern that level of closeness. You see, in physical life, intimacy develops slowly. There are cues, boundaries, social friction. Immersive environments compress that process. Eye contact is constant. Voices are spatial. Bodies respond in real time. Intimacy no longer requires trust. It requires latency. And when systems reduce latency, they accelerate emotional access without increasing protection. This is not about desire. It's about exposure velocity. You see, intimacy makes people visible, emotionally, psychologically, neurologically. But immersive systems strip away context. You don't know who is trained. You don't know who is role-playing. You don't know who is observing. You don't know who is recording. You see, vulnerability becomes asymmetric. One person is present, another is detached, a third may be extracting data. When vulnerability exists without shared risk, harm doesn't require intent. It only requires imbalance. You see, once intimacy is possible, leverage follows. Not always maliciously. It's not where I'm going with it. But sometimes subtly. Attention becomes currency. Closeness becomes incentive. Withdrawal becomes punishment. In immersive environments, intimacy can be rewarded. Intimacy can be ranked, optimized. Intimacy can be monetized. And the moment intimacy is optimized, consent becomes negotiable. Not because people are weak, but because systems reward closeness without enforcing care. You see, platforms don't want to govern intimacy, because governing intimacy means acknowledging physical impact, accepting duty of care, defying enforceable boundaries. So they refrain. They call harm social misunderstanding. They call harm personal conflict. They call harm community drama. But trauma doesn't come from drama. It comes from systems that allow access without accountability. Intimacy without structure doesn't create connection. It creates risk. You see, immersive systems are crossing a line. Not into violence, not into chaos, into closeness. And closeness changes everything. In the next episode, we examine what happens when immersive systems What happens when immersive environments begin shaping desire itself? And why ungoverned intimacy is not freedom, it's exposure. This is virtual trauma. When systems invite closeness, they inherit responsibility. Peace.